Hey all, Paul from pbmentors.com. Super Bowl Sunday 58. I got this on. They're not in the game, but that's okay. Hell of a game we have today. Niners, Chiefs. These guys should be in it. I'll get to the Niners and the Chiefs in a minute. I have several predictions for you. Let's talk about the Lions from 2 weeks ago. Get a couple of things. Let's just call it what it is. San Francisco is extremely lucky to be in this game today. Lions had them on the ropes and let him off the ropes. I got to say this. Dan Campbell and the Lions been taking so much heat for a couple of weeks, and I just don't think it's warranted. Couple of things here. Yeah, I never coached at that level. I get it. But if you've coached at any reasonable level above T-ball, okay, anything organized where you're really playing competitively, you understand as a coach what your talent level is and what the other team's talent level is. And you have to make evaluation and decisions pregame and in-game that is based on what your team is capable of doing or not doing, and then monitor that throughout the game against the flow of the game and the situations that you're in. Dan Campbell has been a go-for-it guy for all 3 seasons. Particularly this season, he did it from start to finish. Do you think that Dan Campbell, if he had the roster exactly where he wanted, would do that in every single situation? I'm here to say no, he won't. His talent level and the team's ability will be predictive of some of those 4th down calls that he makes based on game circumstance, situation, and flow. The calls were the right calls, guys and gals. Michael Badgley, not a very good field goal kicker. He was earlier on when he was with San Diego. I watched him plenty, had him on my fantasy team. The guy got a booming leg. But somewhere along the line, he lost his accuracy. And at that 42 to 48 yard, area, he couldn't risk that field goal kick versus a 4th down and 3, 4, whatever it was exactly. End of the first half, that was the right call. Go up by 3 scores, you're up 17. It's basically a gimme field goal. You have one play. If you miss, 4th down, you don't get that up by a 3rd score. So at the half, that was the right call. Second half, that is again the right call. You have multiple drop passes by Josh Reynolds. You've got the fumble by Gibbs. You've got the freakish catch by Brandon Ayuk. A lot of things went against them. Reynolds catches the ball. We're talking about a Lions prediction in this game. The plays were there. They didn't just make them. Campbell put his team in the best possible position to win, period. And you got a team on the ropes. You got to go for it a little bit. You've got to knock them out. A couple of things went the wrong way. I don't think he has any regrets, but he also knows, as does Brad Holmes they know that this is what they signed up for. Even at the level that I was a coach, if I told you the way that we lost the game against our rival in the final seconds on a silly inbound pass, and then how we made up for it in the divisional championship game on the way to us going to the CYO state championship, sometimes you got to take those types of losses. It builds character. It builds what you need. Winning is a process, and so is losing. Anyone who's a basketball fan and a Pistons fan, you understand it went Lakers to Celtics, Celtics to the Pistons, Pistons to the Bulls. How many times did the Pistons get close and couldn't do it? Vinnie Johnson and Adrian Dantley diving for the ball, both get concussions. Isaiah's ankle and coming up short. Lambeer gets, fouled by, or they call the foul on Jabbar. I'm going way back here, some before a lot of your time, but that will make them better. And I think in accordance with my prediction from 3 years ago, I think that they will be in the Super Bowl within 5 years. That's 3 has passed. We have 2 more. If they don't get there this upcoming year, they're going to get there the following. Now, there's a lot of luck you got to get it. You have to be healthy. You got to have the right players, the right mix. You got to have the right scheme. You got to have the right organization. And I think they have most all of that. They're 3 to 4, maybe 3 to 5 players away, mostly on the back end of the defensive side of the ball, from winning it all, from being there. So everyone who's in an uproar, guys, if you're as old as me and I'm about to be 52, we have never been in a position like this. Yeah, you could say it's the worst, 4th quarter or second half falling apart in NFC championship history or championship game history. It's okay. It's okay. They're going to be better for it. They will come back hungrier than ever before. Count on that. All right, so today's game. Again, Niners, You are lucky, absolutely lucky. You got manhandled on your own field for an entire half. And then, yeah, they turned it up a little bit, and they got a lot of talent, and those guys started getting desperate, and they made some plays. But the Lions helped them along the way. So this game here, I'll be honest, for 2 weeks, I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So like I had the Lions prediction 3 years ago that they would be in the Super Bowl within 5 years. Again, for those that don't know, when John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan got together after 1 year of seeing what it was they were building, I said they would win a Super Bowl within 5 years. And so here they are in the 5th year, able to win a Super Bowl. So I'll get to that in a second. It's really crazy to watch Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, and we'll throw Kelsey in there, and the comparison that you could make between him and them and Belichick, Brady, and Gronkowski. It's so similar. While Brady and Mahomes have a little bit different style, Mahomes is much more versatile and can move around a lot more than Brady. Mentally speaking, the absolute desire to just do whatever it takes, the ability to find a way to win, the ability to find ways to make everyone around them better. You can look at Brady had Gronkowski, Mahomes has Kelsey. Brady had Moss for a short period of time. Mahomes had Tyreek Hill for a short period of time. You could look at the running backs with Edwards-Helaire and now Pacheco and McKinnon, kind of interchangeable. You've got Rashee Rice, that's an up-and-comer, but mostly nobody else. Justin Watson, Scantling. I mean, there's just Kadarius Toney, who's not even going to play, but there's just parts, and he makes everyone around him better and gives them an opportunity to win. Now, I watched them the whole season really closely. I love watching championship caliber players, teams, coaches, organizations, because it actually helps me in my business. And you learn how to win at the highest level. You learn how to maintain at the highest level. Keep giving yourself a chance to be there. And they really have something special. Love what the Niners are doing too. I really and truly do. I love John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, terrific. They've got weapons all over the field. And I'll be honest, initially I was thinking that this is San Francisco's game to win. And I felt that way. Even as recent as a few days ago, I met with an old friend for coffee. He told me he'd like the Niners. I said, I think I do too. Well, I've had a change of heart. Newsflash. If I'm going to just come out here and give my prediction and anybody's going to do something with these predictions, I want to be sure I'm telling you the best possible thing here. So, game script. We'll get there before I get into the prediction. I think we have a relatively high-scoring game on tap today. The Niners will get their plays here and there. Really interesting, though, Sean Jones, interior defensive lineman for the Chiefs, basically the best in the business. And he's going to present some problems, more so for Purdy than even the Lions did, even though they rattled him and he had to be nimble and get around. With Spagnuolo and his exotic schemes, and the way he can send guys off the edge and, disguise where someone's coming from, they're just ahead of the Lions in that respect, and they have more overall talent on defense than the Lions do. Hutchinson, McNeil, they've got some players there, but, Casey's they've got the scheme, they've got the chemistry, they've got the players, they've got the coaching staff, they've got everything that they need to be successful. And experience, over it all. Last year, obviously, they won it. And here they find themselves there again against an inexperienced quarterback. And yes, Shanahan has some experience. Of course, we all know who his father is. He grew up around it. But he's not on the level of Andy Reid in terms of winning a game at any cost and pulling out things that the other team hasn't seen. Shanahan will do some of that. But Shanahan does not have Patrick Mahomes. Let's just call that what it is. This guy is one of the greatest of all time already. And I've said this in one of my previous videos. When he first came out and everybody wanted to, anoint him as the greatest ever, I typically don't like that. I like to see it earned over time and see somebody continue to do it. And boy, this guy's continued to do it. If you've watched KC at all this year, they struggled mightily. They were kind of in this Super Bowl hangover, and then it just went on and on and on. And I think anyone who's been watching would agree that Taylor Swift has been a massive distraction for most of the season for Kelce. He had one of his lesser seasons of his career. I don't think, Mr. Commercial Guy, Mr., dating the world's biggest pop star and all this type of stuff. I think it kind of took away from some of it. A lot of frustration developed, and then he comes out and has his biggest game. And now you actually watch this thing unfold where it's like kind of Taylor's going to help them win, and Kelce's back, and Mahomes and Kelce, and here they are in the Super Bowl, and it's one game, and it's all these different variables. I honestly think that there's something there. The talent, the coaching, the experience, all that stuff, yes. But there's a certain type of momentum here. And honestly, I picked Baltimore to beat Kansas City. Lamar Jackson, once again, proved why he's not a big game quarterback. Game 13, rushing for 150 yards and throwing for 4 touchdowns, it doesn't matter. When it's win or go home, you put your best foot forward, and KC kicked their you-know-whats. And Mahomes is made for that moment. And it wasn't even close. It was never in doubt. Mahomes has the ability to adapt and adjust on the fly. And I'll tell you what, Bosa and some of the ability that the Niners have on defense, I mean, this is their kryptonite, because this guy could take 2-step drop, get the ball out. He has a way to maneuver in the pocket and free himself up for an extra fraction, half a second, 1 second, second and a quarter. Next thing you know, he's scampering for 16, 17 yards out of bounds. You know how he does, and he's an awkward runner, but he gets the job done. Or he'll be on the move, and they have to respect his ability to run, so he's drawing some guys in, and then he'll just loop it over somebody's head. So you got to say this is Mahomes' game to lose. Provided everything is there and there's no major injuries to him or anything, all things being equal, you got to jump all over Kansas City getting the points in the Super Bowl the way this game sets up. At this time right now, I think it was KC plus 1.5. So you're going to get KC plus 1.5 in the Super Bowl. I mean, people buying into the Kool-Aid of the Niners and maybe what they did against the Lions, but if you're really looking at this closely, there's maybe more problems there than meet the eye. And I think that they exposed the way that the Niners can beat. I mean, Laporta went crazy. They dissected their secondary. And that's what Jared Goff, no offense, Jared Goff. I mean, you're a hell of a guy for what you need to do, but you're not Patrick Mahomes. And quite honestly, Laporta is going to be phenomenal, already is phenomenal, but he's not Kelce in these moments. And so you've got Mahomes and Kelce and Rashee Rice, who I think is one of the best young, talented players in this league, who has now learned, and him and Mahomes have chemistry, and the ball's going where Rashee is supposed to be, and he's there, and the ball's there. Then he has the ability to run after catch. So I think they're set up. Pacheco's a tough back. He's going to get them the 4 and the 5 yards that they need when they need it. And so I've got Kansas City plus 1.5 in this game. All right, couple of prop picks. I think that Patrick Mahomes has another big game. I saw the over-under on his passing yards, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. 260.5 is his over-under on passing as of about 15 minutes ago. This isn't all the way over. This is a game for Patrick Mahomes to show the world once again who he is, what he does, and shine at the most lights and glamour moment. I mean, all he's got to do is get 261. I think it's there to be had. And they're going to pass the ball a lot too. I really suspect they're going to pass the ball a lot. I actually think we're going to see a high-scoring game going back and forth a little bit. So 261, over 260.5, 261 or better. I don't see any problem with that. Rashee Rice, 67.5 is the over-under on his prop. It jumped. It was, I looked earlier in the week. I looked today at what it was early in the week. It was 61, 62, 63. It's now 67.5. If you could get that below 69, I'd say get it all day. That's his main target. They're going to, well, Kelce's his main target, but they're going to try to take away Kelce, and then he's got to go to Rice. And Rice has the speed and the maneuverability to move a lot with Mahomes as he moves in the pocket and he gets away from Bosa and Chase Young and Armstead and some of the other guys, blitz packages. He's going to find Rice for a big play, and Rice can catch the ball at 15 and end up with a 45-yard gain. So he could basically get half of the 67.5 in one play. a bonus one for you on the prop picks. I think that Purdy ultimately is going to struggle in this game. I think they're going to have him baffled. I think they're going to reduce his time and ability to stand in the pocket. And his best outlet is, well, he's got a couple. But I think his best outlet and the person he's going to look to the most is McCaffrey. McCaffrey may end up with something like 6 to 8 catches. And as of 15 minutes ago, I think he was over 32.5 or 33. You gotta take McCaffrey over 33. He's gonna get easily six catches, and basically all he has to have is 5 to 6, basically 6 yards a catch. He should be able to get that. All right, the over under. I got a different one for you. Over under I think is 47.5. I'm not gonna recommend anything on that. Here's what I am gonna recommend. Team total for KC, again, as of about 15, 20 minutes ago, was 23.5. I've got Kansas City 28 to 34 points scored in this game. So 23.5, that's obviously much more than that. 24 is a key number, 3 touchdowns and a field goal, obviously with the extra points made. I think KC's got at least 4 touchdowns here. I don't think they'll really get into a field goal game. They're great in the red zone. They just got everything down on the goal line to make the plays they need to. They can run the ball, throw the ball, play action. They can do whatever they want. So I think you should be able to get at least 4 touchdowns for that. So to recap, we've got KC plus 1.5. You're probably looking at something like, we'll say 33 to 27. 33-27, right in that range. KC's the winner. Prop picks, Rashee Rice over 67.5. Patrick Mahomes passing yards over 260.5. Bonus prop pick, McCaffrey receiving, not rushing, receiving over 33. And then as far as an over-under total for the game, not the game itself, but Kansas City over 23.5. This should be a fun game to watch. There's talent all over the field. Again, I think, the Lions are set to be in this game the next year or two. The draft here in Detroit next year, and boy, we sure know that the Lions know how to draft. They'll get a few more picks, either Super Bowl 59 or Super Bowl 60. Save this video, throw it in my face if I'm wrong. Super Bowl 59 or the big Super Bowl 60, the Lions will be a participant. All right, everyone, have a fun Sunday. Enjoy all the nachos and pizza and friends, and everybody show up to work tomorrow, please. Have a lot of fun. Let's go Mahomes. The guy's on a quest to be Brady. Everybody wants to talk about Burrow. He's not there yet. It's Mahomes is the closest thing to Tom Brady playing right now, and injuries is a big part of that. Mahomes has avoided the big injury. Burrow can't seem to stay healthy. So until that guy's able to stay healthy, he can't be in this conversation. It's Mahomes' day today. It's KC's the play. Have fun, everybody. We'll talk to you again next time. pbmentors.com. Have a great day. Bye now.